Welcome to another episode of Gigs Across the Tundra, where we break down our most recent shows, tell live music horror stories, and just give you the overall behind the scenes of Mr. Igloo. But before we get into that, I want to go ahead and knock out our plugs. We have Mr. Igloo logo tees on our Bandcamp, but we're running low on sizes, so get yours now. We do have a new EP out called Makoko. And while you're at it, go ahead and check out our first EP, Walrus, and everything else we got out. And you can find all those links in the description below. Today is a family episode, and we have the whole band together. We're working on figuring out the format still, so, chime on it in the comments with your thoughts and suggestions and how we can make the pod better. We do the song-by-song breakdown. We rate the overall show. We dive into some of our philosophies and songwriting and song ownership, a little bit of horror story talk. We get into dealing with nerves, and we got a new segment at the end as well. So thanks, guys, for listening and supporting. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Stay frosty. So the first song we played was The Spot.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was pretty good. Listening back to a lot of the songs, I think I rushed a lot of it. So listening back to videos, I was like, that felt uncomfortable. I don't know if y'all have opinions.
You were rushing like every song in rehearsal.
Yeah.
So I was like
Ready for
actively trying to like pull it back, pull it back, pull it back.
I'm
pull it
so
back.
sorry.
No, it's cool.
It's
just
fine.
it's what we do.
Thank you for having my back.
Yeah.
It felt fine to me, honestly. I didn't care.
Cool. Yeah, I overall solid.
I realized that my hands were shaking uncontrollably.
Oh, was that your first show? Was that our first show like all together as like a band?
No.
Like
Second.
this four?
Second, we did tulips.
Yeah.
Everyone was so close. So close.
Yeah, the energy was awesome like the whole time.
It was. It definitely was.
All for you.
I realize how hard it is to sing and play drums, but also from a monitor situation, it worked out well. But from a vocal situation, it was just difficult to like find pitch. Especially, that's my normal talking range, and I don't talk very loud. But having to like try to project, so I was like, I was eating the mic the whole time. So
Yeah.
super big proximity with that one, which is fine because again, it was a house show. But
I actually thought you sounded fucking amazing.
thanks, dude. I appreciate it. Cool.
Yeah, you sounded dope. Once again, the only one that I couldn't hear in the show was
Sam.
Samantha.
And this happens.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna double back to the spot really quick. That was the biggest thing. Our vocal balance with my harmonies and yours, like this melodic lead line was just really off for the first tune. But other than that, like on a technical aspect, I thought it went fine. Sorry, I know we're
Yeah.
backtracking a bit.
There is the thing in Offer You, the bass fill after that got really awkward.
I'll take responsibility for that because I like straight up forgot the lyrics. So that was me. And I think I had to like start over to get us back in.
We got into it.
We
made
figured it out.
happen.
We extended that phrase, but it was fine.
It was messy, but it came
back together.
My hands were shaking
Yeah.
so badly.
How dare you have feelings and a sympathetic
know,
nervous
I
system?
know, but
We're so upset with
it
you right now,
took
Samantha.
every ounce of concentration I had to even put out like 3 notes of
You're
it.
fine.
I was
It's
just
perfect.
like, oh my
Never
God.
speak to me or my son ever again.
My son.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I
other,
mean,
yeah,
it's
other
a-
than that, I thought it went. It was because it was my first time doing it like live, like in an audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that was the one I was most afraid of. But that's definitely not the worst one that I played. So it's fine.
The song's just fast. It's just a quickie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she wanted it to be faster than that, but
my-
I
I did
think he wanted it to be a little faster than 160, and I was like,
really.
let's-
I believe
we
it.
met in the middle on 160.
I
believe
forget
it.
where I originally wrote it. Like,
You wrote that one?
Yeah, you wrote it like 10 BPM slower.
yeah.
Oh, I'm glad it.
It's
I'm
like
glad it.
145,
I'm glad it is the way it
150,
is now.
yeah.
Personally,
What's that?
I'm glad it's the speed it is now. just
Oh
because
no, it's better. It's just I was originally thinking of it as being more of like, the the big bands that we really agree on, the My Bloody Valentine stuff, the Nirvana stuff. I wanted it to be that kind of jangly, spangly, kind of vibey rock stuff, and we turned it into like something much more upbeat, much more up tempo. But like, yeah, I agree, it's a better song now. But I'm just where I was coming from when I originally put it together. It was just a different mindset than what we ended up doing with it.
Makoko.
Bad song.
Bad song.
Bad song.
Bad for you?
What? No, I'm.
Oh, in general. Oh, yes. No, it's awful. Honestly, same thing. I pushed it, but other than that, like other than speed wise, I thought I felt fine.
When that second chorus hits, it hits so hard.
Yeah.
Like, I have many songs of ours that I have like that one part that just does it for me, and it's those cool stops in the second chorus that just make my the hairs on my arms just go
Yeah.
I just absolutely just want to kick a hole in somebody's head and just I want to just fight someone and just fuck on the floor and break shit, and I want to do everything whenever that part hits.
Fair enough. Let me just say, I
That's a lot of
appreciate your
stuff.
solos, like leading into that. I definitely took a lot more liberties than I should have during the solo, so my bad.
I didn't notice.
Good.
That's fine for live.
I will say I'm glad we got to the arrangement it is now, because I remember going back and like listening to so many, not listening, but just like going through my head of so many versions we've had on, and this is the one that I like the most, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean,
As far as feel, vibe, and like arrangement wise.
Yeah, I like anything where we kind of turn it jammy and spacey.
Yeah.
I don't. I like everything to just have a sort of a vibe, maybe almost unpredictable flow to it. Yeah, so I like the fact that we do a little bit of that with Makoko.
Yeah, it's like this one and Mr. Igloo are like the staple songs.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's nice to have like that foundation
yeah.
on these songs, and like waiting as long as we did to release it, even though we've had it recorded for a while. I think that it made sense. So
yeah, it just wasn't. It was just never right.
You just got to cook on songs for a really long time sometimes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that was the first. That song's been around since before Alexis was even in the band. Cornelia.
I'm sorry.
That's where it got weird.
When I tell you, I completely forgot that song, and it's not that I forgot it. I thought we were in a completely different section.
You
but
played the chorus.
I
over
played the
second
chorus.
verse.
Yep, I sure did.
Yeah. And it's like it suddenly felt like we were playing a polka version of the song.
Yeah, it sure did.
Because it totally felt like you were two-stepping while we were at halftime, and that was just weird, man.
Literally, my brain was like, I have to do this at least 4 times so it doesn't sound like a mistake.
Right.
So that's what I did. I was like,
That's what I noticed that.
it's the classic Chet Atkins thing, right? You make a mistake. The only thing that you can do to make sure that nobody thinks it was a mistake is just play the same way twice.
Yeah, dude. And I was like, oh man, how we're gonna? I couldn't get out of it. I I had to stay with it.
No, because it ended up working. It was a little weird, but like just the fact that we all stuck it out and you played it through it multiple times to make sure that everybody knew that was actually the right part to play, totally made it work. So I mean, honestly, it was an exercise in, if you're gonna mess up
a lot and make it sound right.
Mess up consecutively.
Yeah. Dude, and because like Alex looked at me and I looked at him and I was like, oh.
I was just like, what? I was
I
confused. I was like, what's happening right now?
And my brain, I'm like, I'm right. And I was like, oh no, I'm wrong. For like 10 seconds, I was like, nope, this isn't it. So we're just gonna like, just trust me, do the head nod, like, I got it. But yeah, that was
I figured
that haunted me for like 3 days after the fact.
But you played heavy in that third verse, so
Yeah.
got that one.
Yeah.
Alex has said this before, but I'll just reiterate it every time it happens, is like, we need to not do the whip whenever something like that, like
yeah, that was my bad.
the whip around and stare at the person who messed up.
Oh yeah, the telegraphing the mistake. Yeah, I'm
it's
bad
like,
at that.
it's like you hear it, you don't need to look at it.
But it helped me though, because I was trying to communicate like, I'm so sorry, I realized my mistake, so I'm like, just keep going.
Yeah,
Just keep.
yeah. I mean, sure, we need the communication, but the whip tells people that somebody screwed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So manage the whip.
Can we nay nay?
Oh,
Okay.
we can nay nay.
Oh God. Yeah, but then it ended up shaping up and coming together at the end.
Man, the weird.
You did this, and then you did the scream part at the end, I think.
Yeah, you did.
So yeah, that helps a lot. That really puts into the fun of the ending.
Man,
my
I'm just
favorite
still thinking
part.
about it. It just felt like a constant build up for like 16 measures that just went nowhere. And I'm just, again, it just haunted me for like 3.5 days. And I just, anyway.
Billie Holiday. Well, because it was going to be No Face, but then we swapped Billie Holiday to be next.
Yeah,
the
just
day of the
because
show.
the feel was too similar
Sure.
to the previous song. So, but I mean, I got the beginning part right.
Yeah. I got the solo.
And then it's funny listening to the recording and then doing it live, and I'm like, oh, I do it different now. I do it correctly now.
It does, yeah.
It's fine.
Who cares?
Did
long
I
as
write
it's
that?
more or
Did
less-
Roman write that?
What the
intro? Yeah.
That part
I think I was Roman.
Roman wrote it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of flubbed it.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Roman wrote a good bit of that.
yeah,
Bit of that song.
it's one of my favorite ones to play.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
And like,
I think people
yeah.
like that one. Anything on that song, Sam?
No, actually, I think my hands were starting to
it's kind of settle in.
settle
Billy.
down a little bit.
Only took
so-
4 songs.
yeah.
I mean, hey, it's one of those things.
Was it just different having so many people up in your face than
I don't-
being on a stage?
I don't know. I was totally calm, like all the way up until we started setting up, and then I was like, "What is this feeling?"
Was it just the tightness? Like the fact that we were all up in each other's armpits?
I don't know, because again, I wasn't even thinking about it until we started setting up. Like I could feel the anxiety like ramping up in me, so I started doing like my deep breathing, and I was like, "Why is this happening?"
Who are you doing bumps with in the bathroom before the show?
Yeah, that
no,
sound like
don't
drugs.
say that. Don't
Does sound
say
like
that.
drugs. Snow. But yeah, Sam was doing drugs in the bathroom. That's where we.
Long story short.
I'd
In
like
conclusion,
to give a quick shout out to my sobriety. 6 years sober this month.
hell
actually.
yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Yay.
Dude, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Really?
Congrats.
Yeah, really.
Heck yeah, man.
Thank you.
That takes a lot of strength.
It does. Yeah.
Man.
It's been the journey is the part that you remember, anyways.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. Are you like in a happier place for it?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I would assume.
Yeah, for sure.
Man,
For sure.
hell yeah.
But yeah, like I was saying at the show, like that's kind of like my thing is, I always just think of it as just like as if I was walking into like the day job or something, and like not, I just think of it as work. Like I'm just there to show up and play the song.
I mean, yeah. Sam, how many hours have you put on stage at this point? Like,
I
Ballpark.
was just about to say this is only the 5th time I've played in front of people.
versus like Alexis.
I didn't start doing if you go back to like way back in the day, like from like middle school band days, it's been what year is this? 23.
Yeah.
So I've been doing this on a stage at some point since 2006, and like honestly, I started getting over quote unquote my nerves within the past like 2 or 3 years. Like I go back to 2016 when I was playing drum set with Flip for the first time, and like the first like year and a half I was like terrified because I didn't have the confidence. But for me, it's like the fear never goes away, but it's definitely like the physical reactions of having like a panic attack before a show have definitely like tampered down. But I have almost 16, 17 years of just being in performance, so
Yeah.
so
Alex?
I guess like on and off since I was like 15 or 16.
yeah.
I couldn't really give an exact number of how many times, but probably over 10. Not that many, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I also stopped being nervous within the last when did we start playing with you? Beginning of last year?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So probably within the last year and a half.
So I've been playing out. Like I was a bedroom musician for
Mhm.
like my entire like middle school to when I got out of high school. But then I started playing out like incessantly in college. So I don't maybe have as many years as you do, Alexis,
Mhm.
but I've at one point, I mean, in college, I was in like 6 or 7 different bands. I dropped out of that, but I'm back into it now. So I'm back into 6 or 7 different bands now. And so it just gets to the point where, I've clocked probably over, I'd say maybe 3,000-4,000 hours on stage.
Jeez, man.
Just playing sometimes 2-3 gigs a day, I mean, 2 gigs with one band, go and pack up and play another gig with another band. I mean, shoot, we literally had to do that last month whenever we filmed the thing in here, and then I had 3 sets to play in the evening. Like was
that the Shotzi's gig?
No, this was the show before that. This was like a private event thing.
Grind,
anyway,
stop.
the whole point being is like, and this is all coming back to Sam, is like, I don't stop having that energy before a show. But what I just call it something different now.
Why'd you say that like James Kirk?
What's that?
You said, I don't stop having that energy.
But yeah, so I went from being absolutely terrified before every show to the point that to this day I have a ritual. I don't eat before a gig. It makes me nervous and it makes me feel like I'm gonna puke. But the other part of it is that I've learned that if I don't call it fear, if I just call it, I'm not afraid, I'm excited. It's like a mantra that I tell myself before a gig. I'm not afraid, I'm excited. I'm not afraid, I'm excited. I'm not afraid, I'm excited.
For sure.
It becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It turns into, this is why, like, I quote unquote, like, I don't know, I turn into a beast on stage. Like, I get way more amped up. I get, I just feed off of what's not there whenever we're just here in the room, just jamming with the 4 of us.
Man, that's really cool.
This time felt more balanced, though.
Agreed.
It felt more like you were with us than in Cliffland.
Yeah, we had that whole talk beforehand,
which I appreciate,
about just being present and stuff. And I know I have an issue with that. I know I have an issue with like going off into la la land and just doing my own thing. So I was actively attempting to be more present and more, with it for the show.
Yeah.
Dude, that's tough because I had the day before I played with Black Market Garden, and like that was probably one of my best shows in a long time. And coming into the Igloo show, I think I had this air of like, oh, if I can do it last night, I can feel the same way. And this show did not feel the best for me. Like I wasn't in the same mindset.
Yeah, it's a new slate for everybody.
Yeah. And so trying to carry, especially like switching like bands and genres and styles and songs, having to channel that same energy and apply it to a different context was so different because I don't play the same here as I do there. And that goes for every band. Like I have like my same bag of tricks.
Preach
but,
that. Like Mr. Igloo is actually like the weirdest project for me because like in all my other projects, it's like metal, hard rock, jazz, progressive rock. Like this is the most not like anything else I do.
Yeah.
But some of those elements still find their way.
Sure, just by the very nature of the fact that it's still me in the band.
Like, Or like Cornelia, I wrote that solo. That's what you like to call it. And I wrote that solo, and then I had you break it into 2 halves.
Right.
And I was like, give it the metal.
Yeah. And I think it works really well.
Yeah.
Cornelia is one of my favorite songs.
Huh?
Cornelia is one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, I like Cornelia.
Then why'd you fuck it up for us, Alexis?
I'm sorry. Man.
You hurt the things you love. You hurt the ones you love.
No, I'm still trying to think about like what was I thinking about that brought me out of it because I was there and I completely just I disappeared and came back.
It's
and
probably doing exactly what I was saying that I do, which is just you get so comfortable with things that you stop thinking about it and you just let your mind wander and because I do it too and I definitely get to like I literally will just start thinking about like what am I gonna have for dinner after this?
Dude,
dude, it's like super stupid stuff, and then that makes me just play stupid shit.
That, and I think I was feeding off the energy of the crowd. I was like, sometimes I get into this mindset where I'm like, oh yeah, they're feeling this. Let me act out, and then I acted out the wrong way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I
no.
like
Yeah.
that. I like that analogy though, because like it's punk rock to
Yeah.
like to like fuck up your own shit sometimes,
Yeah.
and I like that. I mean, I like I like the punk rock ethos. I like
Mhm.
the let's just on the floor and break shit.
Dude, man, the mini mosh pit.
Oh, dude,
Dude,
yeah.
the circle pit.
Was there a pit happening while we were playing?
No,
Oh.
after us. But I
Oh,
was just like,
okay.
man, they were really out here.
Yeah.
They were
I was
really
like, I
out
couldn't
here. I'm like,
notice that.
okay, heard.
Um,
Cool. Sorry.
no face.
And another one. Yeah, I like this one too. One that I pushed and looking back felt really like it just felt really anxious for me. I think listening back to it in the moment, it felt good playing it, but listening back to
Yeah.
how fast it was, I was like,
It was a little fast,
dang,
but I was
dude.
able to sing the chorus, so that means it wasn't too fast.
Good. Okay.
If
Cool.
I can't sing the chorus, then it's definitely
Yeah.
too fast.
Okay, noted.
How did you feel on that one, Sam?
I feel like that one went okay. I feel like bridge was
Mhm.
was
Yeah, the
fine
bridge
on it.
sounded
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
was,
that
like, the
transition,
main
that-
part
I think
we
that
were
helped a
working
lot,
on,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had pumped probably about 3 or 4 hours total just into that
Yeah, that
section.
transition. Yeah.
Yeah.
before the show.
I think it helped for sure because I was
Mhm.
thinking about that the whole time because I almost forgot it again.
Yeah, it sounded good. Yeah, I think we hit the tell me's
Yeah.
solid too. So yeah,
And that was a fun
we
one
put
too to
work into
do
that song.
harmonies on. So heck yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know we
Okay.
kind of went off. a
No,
little
I'm
bit.
like I can't. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that happened in that song.
I mean, not every song needs like a giant, tremendous discourse on what went right and what went wrong. Sometimes it just went right.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, then, Mr. Igloo.
That like the verses for that song are creeping up on me, man. Like at first I was just like, okay, just do it, just do the part. But I've been finding a lot of like little fun nooks and crannies in those parts. Get bringing out like the Midwest emo-y
Yeah.
kind of vibes of that. I don't know if you guys have noticed me like kind of tooling with those parts and developing them a little bit. But yeah, it's been pretty great.
In a weird way, that's one of the songs I find hardest to play because there's so much. There's only for me, there's only so much I can do.
Yeah,
I
it's
think-
wiggle room.
Yeah. I think in the second verse I didn't mess up, but I went to the ride, and in the first verse it was hi hat, and just having the sound of that open washiness was too much for that section. I was just like, and I couldn't get out of it. But I didn't like it personally.
I think it's one that's going to be on the album. So, I think over the next few months, we're going to start developing that one.
Yeah,
I
I
saw
just
more
Also,
for
why you
live.
need like 2 more rides so you can pick your amount of wash.
and I got him. Don't you fret.
One thing I want to bring back on that song is the shaker and having our
I
shaker
think that
holder.
too. Yeah.
Because the other thing with the shaker, because we've recorded that song, or at least the drums for it a couple times, and the first time was at 50-50, and you had the shaker while you played drums,
Mhm.
which makes you play it completely different than when you do the shaker separate.
Yeah, you
Agreed.
devote a hand.
Yeah,
to-
and I want to go
yeah.
back to that first way because there's a little
Absolutely.
bit more of a
Nuance, texture, just
yeah,
variety.
Nuance was the word I was
Yeah.
looking for.
I think in every version we've had on it, there's always something I want more to fill in some sort of space, but I couldn't tell you like how, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I
there's
I
some
know
empty
what
pockets.
you mean. It needs like another guitar in
Or
that,
yeah,
in
some
the
other
chorus.
layer.
I guess I'll just also say that to this day I really have no idea what I'm doing on the bridge. Like
That
the
point.
I think what you've been
all
doing
fair.
is more or less fine.
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't think it sounds bad.
Yeah.
I'm just to this day, every time we've worked on it, it's been just like,
It's been the idea has been trilling.
Yeah.
You have a cool way of just working your way there.
yeah.
That too,
Um,
and I think the build up when I do the snare stuff, I think it's almost too much. I don't know what to put there.
It helps me actually.
Does it?
Because it tells me like, okay, this is the last 4 before,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and because that build up is we go a bar over, right? It's like one extra bar right before the stop.
No,
right?
there might be. You might be.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get into another one of those like last time with monetize me where I was wrong.
You're in danger. So yeah, that extra bar when you start doing that part on the snare has always helped me like lock
Good.
back in and go like, okay, yeah, this is where it's coming. Yeah.
Anything, Sam? You're so quiet.
No, I feel okay about how that song went too. I feel like I zoned out a lot in practice on the bridge, and I was
Fair.
like, "Oh wait, what's going
like-
on?" But I
I feel
think
like
I
you're
got
zoning
it.
out on us now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Man, I'm bad at listening around me when I play, and that's like probably a sin and a shame. Like if I can hear the vocals and I can hear like a little bit of guitar, I'm fine.
Like let's because what I think about, because again, this was part of the conversation in the rehearsals leading up to it. What I'm thinking about is only ever like really two of the most important things for me is, am I in time, and am I in key?
Mm-hmm.
And like everything else, like all the textural stuff is things that you kind of had to bring to me,
Yeah.
to my attention of because I'm like, okay, I'm in time and I'm in key. The rest of it, I'm goosing on until like something comes up that
Yeah.
needs to be like addressed.
Yeah.
Same.
I mean, I'd say it depends on if it's rhythm or lead.
Mm-hmm.
I think, when it's rhythm stuff, you definitely want to ideally be playing the right thing. But when it's lead, you have a lot more freedom to not really worry about it.
Yeah.
Sure.
And we switch back and forth.
Sure. And yeah, again, and that's just me coming from like a very improvisational, like gun from the hip, kind of
Yeah.
approach to playing in
How
general.
how are you feeling, Sam, with like recovering from a mistake and stuff like that?
I feel like, I mean, I've only played one other show with you guys, but I felt like recovery was a lot, on a personal level, a lot better for me. And then I feel like, again, if something was slightly off elsewhere on other parts, I feel like we did a good
Yeah.
job, like keeping it together and like just playing through it. So
Yeah.
I was really impressed with that aspect of our performance.
Yeah.
Ooh, I did want to mention, Alexis, you did a great job of being the backline front woman for the set.
Thanks, man. That's a really cool compliment because that's something I don't normally do. Like in life, like I just don't say words.
You just saw what needed to happen,
Yeah.
and you just saw what needed to happen, and you just tackled it. So
Yeah.
I noticed it when it
Thanks.
happened, and I wanted to mention it.
That's a really kind compliment. That
Very
made my day.
Roman had brought up that there was like anytime that there was dead air, like everybody in the band just kind of started like noodling and jamming, and like
Yeah.
the right way to solve dead air is to talk to people and talk to the crowd and personalize with them, and you did that with Flying Colors, as opposed to just sitting there and tippy-tappying on the drums and jamming. I mean, that stuff's cool too. People want to see you take a 2-second drum solo every once in a while, but you definitely did the thing that was a point of contention last gig. So
Cool.
yeah,
Thanks, man.
10 out of 10.
Thanks.
They-
I think my biggest fear with that anytime is just like, am I overstepping? Like, what is my role and my function? I never want to like overstep or step on anyone's toes and like take the spotlight because it's not just about me. It's about the collective.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if I'm ever in a spot where I'm just doing too much, like call me out. Sam, you were saying something. I'm sorry. I cut you off.
Oh, I was gonna say they were into the noodling too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
They got all excited when.
Oh, dude,
Oh, at
because
the beginning?
we
Yeah.
we did that
That was
little
fun.
funk jam at the
Yeah,
beginning, and
yeah.
like people already were like, "Oh, this is that."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Walrus.
Chakatu. Thank you, Nirvana.
Yeah,
No, I like that
it's,
one.
It's disco
Yeah.
is ultimately what it is. I always feel like we kind of rush Walrus a
Yeah.
little bit. Like it's
Yep.
it's a little fast, and again, it's already such a short song.
Mhm.
I'm like, let's slow it down, make it groovier and like smoothier.
And that's all me because I have a god complex and think I'm right all the time.
It was.
It's-
It was a little rush. It still wasn't too rough.
Well, all I'm saying is,
I do want to do that bridge longer, like we said last time. though,
Yeah.
'cause I like jamming on it.
All I'm saying is it was that we tempoed it down just a hair this time, and that
Yeah.
it worked great.
Yeah.
Because remember from rehearsal, you started and I was like, "This is too slow," and I way
Immediately
overcompensated. I took that baton too fast.
Yeah.
Sorry, but yeah, it's a fun tune. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's just stupid catchy.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to make everything in it singable, from the rhythm guitars to the lead guitar to that's my one piece of songwriting advice to anyone is like everything in the song should be a hook, even the simple rhythm guitar parts. Everything should be singable. I try to make everything like that's a part that you can remember, that you can like latch onto. So I try to avoid boring stuff. I always try to make something that's like, this is the highlight of the whole thing. Like everything else can be boring in comparison to that thing, but I try to keep it all like stoked.
Yeah. The one thing that gets me about this song is there's so many layers in the recorded track, and my ear wants it so bad hearing it live, like all the other extra percussion stuff and like the shakers and the cowbell and like that stuff.
I keep saying this. Let's bring a tub of crap. Just
That's also what, obviously, we used to have a keyboardist, Logan,
yeah.
who's no longer with us.
He's alive.
Yeah. I was going to give it a little bit more of a beat than
sorry.
that.
I was like, wait,
He's
wait,
in
wait,
a
wait.
better place now.
He's in a better place now.
Indiana.
Gary, Indiana.
It's not 110 degrees there.
Must be nice.
But yeah, so I mean, in that sense, that song that like I wrote the keys on that part too, for that way the keyboard player could also do shaker at the same
Right.
time.
One hand.
Because the key is just dom, boom, boom, ba. It's just like a few notes.
Yeah.
Be here now.
I don't know the words to this one, and I always try to sing sing harmonies with you, and like every time I try, I'm just like, nope, that's not
Be
it.
here right now. Be my last dance.
And
Be
I
here
never
right now. Be where I am.
still don't memorize it. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I like that one a lot. But same thing, like I just need to allow myself to give you more space, because it's just I noticed this time I took a huge dynamic step back and just played super soft. No, that was pretty much it. Like I try to give you more space, and I think I don't know if it worked or not, like perception wise out in the audience, but
I didn't really. Yeah. I need to work on being more present during shows too.
it's hard, dude, because I have to if I think about it too much, I not freak out, but I'm just like over analytical, and then I start changing things mid song and it doesn't fit. Like, oh, that verse is really loud. Why is this one all of a sudden super soft and doesn't match? Did it feel slow to you? Do you remember?
Maybe it was a hair
slow,
but
yeah.
not an amount that was really like. If it's 131, it might have been like 129.
Oh.
I don't feel like it was like super slow.
I really appreciate Alex at the very end, like the scream vocal. Like that's
Oh,
my favorite.
dude.
That
It's
hits
the
so
part
hard.
that sells the whole song.
Man.
The whole song is just building up to that one moment.
And it feels good, man. So
Yeah.
just really good.
I like doing that part.
Yeah.
It's a nice release. Monetize me.
Okay. I have $5.
Huh?
Oh.
God. Wow.
Stupid.
That was not good.
Just so dumb.
Igloo's the only band that I have splits with. So Alex, let me just tell you, I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Like just putting us on there, because
Yeah.
if I look back, I'm like, I can only
I
imagine.
just think it's kind of, I don't know. I mean, it's like technically on paper, depending on the song, like, yeah, I could own 100% of it, but it doesn't feel right to me.
So it's appreciated. I think it's one of those things like we don't talk about or think about as like members of the band that aren't fronting. So, and it's appreciated for sure.
Yeah.
So let me just say that.
I think the nature of labor in music is really odd. Like, because we all contribute directly to the shows, right? So, like, it makes sense. We all get to decide what happens to the money from the shows.
Yeah.
Right? With, like, the exception of whoever booked the show obviously gets, the lion's share. But, because that's just extra labor, right? But, and then with songwriting, it's always weirder because, I don't know, I come from a really, like, weird mindset when it comes to songwriting. Is like, on the one hand, like, what part of songwriting do you feel like do you take claim to?
Yeah.
Right. For me, it's like, okay, I wrote a melody, but like to me, that's not the original part of the music, right? Okay, I wrote a chord progression. Okay, but that's still not the original part of the music. To me, what makes something truly a song or not, to me, is like the textures, that the way I'm like the overall arrangement and the way that, like, everything fits together. That's where I think the bulk of the labor when it comes to songwriting comes into. And I think that, and the point that I'm getting to is that like that's something that like for the songs that we work on, like Alex and I basically do like 50-50 right now. But then like I know Alex has specifically said he wants you two to get more involved with that.
Yeah.
You two being Alexis and Samantha.
Yeah, I mean, just writing songs without,
Yeah, in general.
without me. And it doesn't mean I'm not still there to, poke at it. And
Right.
same thing I do with his songs. Offer You had different sounds, and there was a keyboard part that was kind of harmonizing with the lead guitar part. And then I just ended up kind of, tinkering the notes, and I ended up having them do
But
the
see,
same
that's
thing.
what I'm saying is like that to me, that's the real songwriting process.
Yeah.
It's not the fact that I wrote the melodies. It's the fact that like whenever we started working on it as a band, as opposed to the original demo track that I sent you, we started arranging it like how we would play it as a band, right? Because whenever I write stuff, this is a thing that I try to do. I don't know if you do this, but I try to think like if I'm writing a guitar part or a drum part or a bass part, I try to think about you guys. I try to think not what do I want to play on this. I try to think of what would Alexis come up with for a drum part. What would
So
Samantha
unpredictable. Got it. Just kidding.
I don't do that.
What would Samantha do on bass? I try to think about I don't expect that I'm going to nail it, but I try to write as if I'm in first of all, it's just a fun exercise for me. Like just just trying to think like what would you guys do is like a fun mental, that's practice for me. But I think it's also going to make it sound closer to the end result faster, if you know what I mean.
But I try to do things that are like out of left field. Yeah, that's why I like finding like a loop and then throwing it at Alexis and be like, "What's your interpretation of this?"
Oh, sure, I like that too.
And
That's fun
or like
too.
Phantom Grip on bass, which was like it starts out really really low and then you got to get super high. I like that challenges you to learn something where you really got to move around.
Sure,
And
there's
I like being challenged
Yeah.
too.
Mhm.
I mean, Offer You was a challenge for me because I don't normally play like rock, even though it's such a simple riff.
yeah.
But to me, hearing it sounds super complicated. And so I don't really play rock riffs like that. So I just like being challenged. And then with the splits, I just give you what you contributed.
And again, like I think about because I've been doing tracks for the past since 2016, 17, and if we had split everything and not everything going straight to the band, I'd have a pretty solid situation. I think about that too. Like if I charged every show I played, I wouldn't have to work.
Hell yeah.
Man, that's the goal eventually. But
There's a rule of 3 that I was told pretty early on in my music career. Stop me if you guys have heard this. So the rule of 3 goes.
stop. Just kidding. Sorry. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Thanks,
I'm
bro. The rule of 3 goes, the money, the music, or the hang, right?
Mhm.
You need at least 2, right? If the music's good and the money's good, but you hate the people that you're playing it with, well, who cares? You're playing good music and you're making good money. If you like hanging out with the people and you're making good music, which is the case for this band, I don't. Of course, the dream is that you get all 3. Like that's what we're working towards here, and that's what every band should be working towards. But I feel like we've got the hang. I love all of you guys. We're all like mad homies.
It's the best hang version of the band for sure.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then-
Aw.
But yeah, and then the music that we make is freaking awesome. I feel like we all have quite a bit of creative freedom to. I mean, there's you, Alex, as a band leader, are not like insanely restrictive in terms of like what we as your bandmates can and can't do with our
Yeah.
parts. And
I'm always open to a new idea as long as we're all collaborating to do something with it. How are you feeling on songwriting and that kind of stuff, Sam? Wants, needs, aspirations?
It's all of the above. It's definitely something that I would like to work towards on a personal level. I've never. This is really my first time doing the band thing, and this is my first time. Even considering like venturing out and writing music and collaborating with other people, and it's exciting and it's challenging And I'm really grateful to have you guys as friends and as bandmates. And, I really appreciate every bit of feedback that you guys give me. And I really appreciate you guys pushing me to be a better musician. And, it makes me want to push myself to contribute and collaborate with you guys.
Well, you already wrote some cool stuff. It moved into the album 2 folder, but it's still I have been working on it though.
I'm not
It's
crying.
just-
You're crying.
It's it moved in that folder just because it was kind of darker, which is kind of
Sure.
and it's kind of with some of the stuff for album 2.
Yeah, Sam surprisingly, despite her personality, she really loves all the sad minery things.
Yeah.
And
Very Mogwai kind of riffs.
and she's such a bubbly person. But all the music she makes is very sad and makes me
Yeah.
want to hurt things.
With
Whoa.
extra bars, and it's very me writing though.
I will say this is that of any of us, Sam, I think you're usually the very first. Like if I'm just playing some stupid line or a chord progression, Sam, you are always the very first one to be like, "What can I do with this?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
That's
jump
good.
on it in seconds.
Yeah.
And I think you have a jam reflexivity, unlike almost anybody else I've ever met.
Big agree. Big agree. Heck
Yeah.
yeah. Go Sam.
All right. Well, okay. Let's get back to monetize me.
Sorry.
Anything else from monetize me?
I get a lot of feedback from friends that I show that song to about, and they're saying that's one of the crowd favorites, I think, right now too.
Heck
A
yeah.
lot of people really like that song. It's catchy.
Question for the class: when you show Igloo for the first time to other people, what's the song you curate for that experience? To kinda
Offer you.
Offer you.
For me,
Really?
it's offer you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Word.
because it's a perfect balance of all of us.
Makoko
Makoko.
is the song that I show people
Makoko.
first.
Makoko.
That's one of my favorite.
Hell
Makoko
yeah.
and Cornelia. I
Makoko
think.
is such a vibe. It really
know.
is.
The oldest Mr. Igloo song.
Cornelia, I remember when I was
Sorry.
first learning Cornelia, and I was like, man, I don't really like this song that much. I was like, this is probably my least favorite song, and now it's like hands down tied with Makoko for
Heard.
one of my favorite songs to play. Yeah.
My approach to what I show people is I always show people the most recent thing because it's the most indicative of where the band is right now. Because it's the thing that we just did together. So it's like if I'm writing a diary entry, I don't want to show you the stuff that I was thinking about a year ago. I want to show you the stuff that I was thinking about this morning. Because this comes from, so in one of my other bands, Batholite, we've re-recorded the same song like a half a dozen times and released it each and every time. And the idea being is that each time we release it, it's like it's breathing new life into an old song, but it's also like this is where we're at. This is where my technical chops are. This is where like my voice is. Like what I've been like working on mostly lately is my singing prowess. Where my production skills are at, where my, can I rearrange the song in some way? Can I rewrite it in some way that it's interesting? So, to me, that's how that it just fits with that ideology, that ethos of just like, I just want to present where I'm at now in a musical sense.
That's fair. I like that concept because I think my brain forces me, but my brain makes it to where like releasing music and music in general is such a finite product and something that's like when it's there,
Exactly.
it has to be there. So thank you for like offering that perspective.
It's a
'cause
living material. It's a
dang,
living
dude.
entity. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking about it too. Like when you practice, you're not doing the same thing twice ever, essentially.
Exactly.
So why do I limit myself to just like, this is the recording. This is how it's going to be. It's how it's always going to be. And it's not going
Right,
to get any
yeah.
better. Like there's no growth. Like, anyway, thanks. That's really cool.
Baller.
Monetize me for sure. Or Cornelia. Yeah.
So that being
Bangers.
said, lately it's been Cornelia or Makoko.
Yeah. Good talk, y'all.
Yeah, I think that one actually went pretty good. We got the ending right.
Oh,
The solo was tight.
was that the last song on the set?
Kinda. Then we did Box Elder and we winged it, which we're about to get to.
Oh man,
Oh yeah, you did fuck up the ending of
I
Monetize
sure did.
Me. Yeah,
I
you did.
sure did.
Yeah.
So like 3 times. So every time I thought we were stopping,
If
I
you,
would stop.
if you
I'd be
hadn't
like,
have said nothing, we wouldn't have brought
I
nothing
forgot.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
forgot
I mean, there was a little bit, but I swear it didn't even really sound like it. I mean,
okay,
Slight
that
hiccup.
drum part at the end is so choppy anyway that it's like it honestly kind of felt like it fit in.
and I definitely was like not
kidding.
paying attention because that's just
Yeah.
I don't look when I play apparently now
Yeah, I
anymore.
mean-
Again,
Yeah, we just need to be, and also putting notes on the set list too.
yeah.
And it was 105 degrees.
Yeah,
It's
it was a
105
really hot
degrees.
show.
Please remember that this was a very hot evening.
The way I was sweating afterwards.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I was sweating more before and after we played than during.
Than during. No,
Yeah.
afterwards I was drenched, man.
Yeah.
It was
well,
awful.
plus it was dark by the time we started playing.
Melty told me that like the difference in the shade of my shirt was like it was like I went on stage with a purple shirt, I got off stage with a black shirt. Yeah, very gross. Yeah, Box Elder.
Yeah. Yep. Then we then we kind of just impromptu did a cover of Box Elder by Pavement, which me and Cliff kind of pieced together
2
earlier
hours
that
before the
day.
set, yeah.
And then me and Sam like right before and
So that's all I'm gonna say is for having put it together literally without any rehearsal, without it, just
it was
like,
pretty good.
day of the show. This is what we're gonna do. 10 out of 10.
I messed up some lyrics a little bit, but
Man, guiltily on the way there, I listened to like half of it. Then I zoned out looking for parking, and I forgot to listen to it like I told you I would. Sorry. So I was like, oh.
But you
well, this
listened
is
to
right.
it when we were all sitting out there, I think.
Yeah.
You
No,
convinced us.
I don't remember. Good. And I listened to it on the way back. I was like, okay, cool. That was
Yeah, I mean
somewhat right.
it's pretty simple. Yeah, I mean, we played it because the original drummer of Pavement, Gary Young, had passed away that
Yeah.
week. So that's one of my favorite bands. So that was kind of my little tribute.
When I know a song, and I don't look up like at all. So when I look at you, it's a bad thing. It means like I'm lost. And I think my eyes were glued to the back of Alex's head the whole time. I'm just like the whole time. Like
Everybody
okay,
needs
here we go.
something. Everybody needs that note of "Be Here Now" somewhere on their instrument.
I definitely know, like
Everybody's
like
on
Sam and I locked in a couple of times. And we were like, this is the verse. Yeah, let's do this.
Dude,
You know,
just like-
several times we were like, is this the part? Yes, this is the part.
Yeah, and then
like,
Alex gives me a look, and I was like, I got it. I'm in now. I got it.
Man,
I didn't
it's
even
because I
remember.
forgot we were doing that, and you said it, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, here we go.
it's all good.
But
It was
cool.
fun.
I'm glad it worked the way it did.
All right, so let's do what we do at the end, where we rate the show on a scale of 1 to 10.
I think we did a lot better than the last one, so I'm gonna call it like a strong 7, week 8.
Okay, heard.
I was thinking 7.
7.
I was somewhere feeling like it was around. Maybe it's just because I want to keep striving for tighter and tighter and better. But I was feeling more like a really good 6, like an attractive 6, a hot 6.
I'm a hot 6.
Yeah.
I look in the mirror and that's what I tell
It's like,
myself
yep,
every morning.
You're
What
a
I
hot
play.
6. I mean, I don't know.
6.5.
I think this is me being my own personal critic. I'd probably go with like a 6, 5.5, 6.
Yeah.
High 5, low 6 situation. Just because I'm being a perfectionist. And I
No,
know there are
yeah.
a bunch of mistakes
I
for
mean,
me.
yeah. I mean, I'd like to see us just keep working and keep getting tighter. And
I gave an extra half point due to how we handled mistakes.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Recovery points.
That's
okay.
what I gave recovery
Totally.
points. Yep.
Yeah.
I
I'll give
awarded
I'll give
half
it a
a
solid
point.
6 then.
Yep.
Mistakes happen. How you recover from, and,
Yep.
and in fact, this is a great segue because if you guys look on the whiteboard, you'll notice that I always have a positive affirmation skeletor drawn up there, and there's a line up there that directly relates to what we just talked about. Alexis, can you read that for us?
Make sure you're your own biggest fan. You're probably already critical enough, and I need that in my life, like daily.
Yeah, bruh.
Jeez.
The
That's why I had you read it, bruh.
Oh, whatever. Oh, you
And
did a
the-
teacher thing.
the quote that I went into the show remembering was, "You're not doing it wrong if nobody knows what you're doing."
Point. And so is that life?
Yeah.
So life, right? Okay.
Yes.
Dude, can we also rate like the vibe, like personal, like how we like outside of performance? but,
Vibe
like,
check.
You feeling icy?
Some people weren't liking it.
I dug it. We got invited to play again or do Halloween.
Oh,
I kind of put Death Lake up for that for Halloween, but
Yeah, I
we
think
could we could figure it out. Maybe we could half.
I think vibe inside the band.
Yeah, like how we all felt like about,
I think Alex and Alexis were on fire that night.
dude.
I think Alexis.
Alexis
I already,
was.
I already
Dude.
already told you how cool you were. But I think Alex. I think you like you puffed up your chest and
No,
you were like,
this is
"Let's-"
one of my favorite shows for me for sure.
Yeah. Like, let's go, bro. Like you were on it.
Yeah. I mean, it was also hot, so I think there's an amount of like I just wanted to get it over with. Because I was like, I've already like sweated through, like, because like sometimes I was just going to my car to sit in there for 3 minutes and get air conditioning. That's why if you saw me disappear for 3 minutes, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go grab this mic from my car. I was really just getting air conditioning for 3 minutes.
That's funny.
And yeah.
So
that's-
yeah, but no, I mean I wanted to bring it a little bit more, but I appreciate that still.
So for me, Alex and Alexis, the two Alexes, the Russians in the band, had the nicest vibe. I think, as always, Sam has the chillest vibe. And I don't know. I guess my own vibe was just my usual Energizer Bunny.
Yeah.
Can I just say I appreciate that so much? Because I told this to someone else recently too. Like, thank you for bringing that. Because personally, I don't have it a lot of the time. And
Oh,
like,
the Energizer Bunniness.
that, and just like your attitude, man, it's just super positive most of the time. Like, like 99 to 98% of the time, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm excited to see Cliff.
Hell
If
yeah.
I'm having a bad day, I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
thank
we
you.
just
And
gotta
you
kind
too,
of.
Sam. And you
I
know,
think we're starting to share the energy. So I mean, we just gotta
Yeah,
kind of
definitely
keep
good thing to feed
doing
off
what
of.
we're doing. And
Any good relationship is it's teamwork. So when we have a problem, it's not us versus each other. It's us versus the problem.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Dang.
yeah. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Ba-da-ba.
Cool.
Okay. This is fun.
Just want to kick a hole in somebody's head and I want to just fight someone and just fuck on the floor and break shit, and I want to do everything whenever that part hits.
That's a lot of stuff.